want you. Maybe it's the only way to cut through. I won't lose myself for anybody. I'm not sorry. Yeah. Though it hurts, I only wish you blessings. When intuition talks, you gotta listen. I won't lose myself for anybody. I'm not sorry. Yeah. 'Cause you build me up to break me down. Never respect the love you found. And I had a voice inside the back of my mind. I always knew it deep down. You don't deserve me, babe, I won't lie. Got no more tears to cry. Oh, no looking back this time. 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 Running from the truth was getting reckless. In your arms I never felt protected. Oh. 'Cause you don't deserve me, babe, I won't lie. Got no more tears to cry. Oh. No looking back this time. 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 No looking back this time.
Yes, yes, yes. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all well. I did say that I'd do a preview show, and here we go. Preview show incoming for the Brentford game. 8:00 kickoff, Saturday night. Been a while since we played a Saturday night game, I'll be honest. Big up everyone that's in the chat. Please talk to each other in there. Please be nice. Lots and lots of things to cover. Lots of things to discuss. I've just been watching the Coppish collab with Donny Sam and also Tom Little. Really been enjoying that. All of them will be jumping over soon. Look, there's a lot to talk about. There really is. I feel like a lot of people have got carried away after the Frankfurt game. I did a show last night talking about that. There's a lot of positives to take from that game, but those positives were always going to be there if those players played. Like if Curtis Jones was in midfield, then we'd look a lot better. That's a fact. If Dominic Szoboszlai didn't play as a right back, we'd look a lot better. That's a fact. If Ekitike played in the attack, we would look a lot better. That's a fact. Like it's like it wasn't rocket science. Like you take the shit players out who played really badly this season and replace them with players that have played really well this season, you're probably going to get a win. You're probably going to get a better performance. Like, this wasn't a case of, like, oh my God, we've just created this incredible tactic and now we're winning games. No, you just put better players in right now. That's all you did. Like, it's funny. Like, it just is funny. It makes me laugh, really, in a way, because it's like every single game that Ekitike's played, we've won. Every single game Isaac's played, we've lost. Like, that's where it ends. Like every time Curtis Jones doesn't play in midfield, we look weird. Like every time Dominic Szoboszlai gets moved out of midfield, we don't look great. Like this isn't something new, and we're not recreating the wheel here. Like when you play a right back who's actually a right back in Connor Bradley, then the right back position looks pretty secure. Like it's just not. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. like, like if you want to get some form back into Liverpool, then play the players that win games for us this season. That's it. Like, play the players that play well for us this season. Like, and we can talk about the formation, the setup, all of that till we're blue in the face. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to change. Slot isn't going to decide to throw all his tactics out the window and then go back to what Jurgen Klopp made Liverpool great with. Like, that's not what's going to happen. Like, I understand that. Like, I've kind of come to just live with that now. Like, that's the way it's going to be. But the way you make it work is by playing the players that are playing well. Like, that's just how you make things work for now. Like, maybe you can get some stuff together. Maybe they can gel together. The players that are actually in form. Maybe we can get something going there. But right now, you have to stop playing players that are not playing well for the club. You have to. And we've been forced to do it. Like, I was listening to Cal, and Cal's spot on, by the way. Big up Cal, by the way. And he just said simply, Mo Salah was rested. Like, McAllister was rested. Like, and he's not wrong. Mo Salah was rested. McAllister was rested. Like, he's not wrong. Like, they weren't dropped. They were rested because there's a rotation piece going on at Liverpool because we're playing 3 games a week. And this is going to continue through the entire season. And when those players were rested or rotated, as in Mo Salah and Alexis McAllister, then guess what? We look better. Like, Florian Wirtz has got like 26, created 26 chances this season, more than any other player in the Premier League. 20, I think it's 24 from open play. Sorry, 23 from open play he's created. Of course we were going to look better creatively because Florian Wirtz was on the pitch from the start. The last 2 games, Florian Wirtz hasn't even started. He's come on in the second half. So Liverpool are already at a disadvantage with creativity because he's not playing. And then you have the situation in the middle of the park where we don't know whether we're playing Gravenberch, we don't know whether we're playing McAllister, we don't know whether Dominic Szoboszlai is going to be there. Curtis Jones is never there. But when Curtis Jones plays, when he comes on as a sub, guess what? Liverpool look good. Liverpool look solid. Liverpool create chances. Liverpool could win games. And this is where we are. And we don't even need to talk about Ekitike, because Ekitike's been our best player this season. He's been unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Single-handedly, he's created and won games with his goals. It's just a fact. And if you want to roll it back, Ekitike has scored the first goal in quite a few games. He is the guy that scored the first goal in quite a few games. That is the hardest thing to do. That is normally the Mo Salah thing. That's normally the Mo Salah thing to do, is to score the first goal. And he scored the first goal against Eintracht Frankfurt, which flipped the game on its head. It put us in the ascendancy. We got 2 corners, and then we scored 2 corners. And I agree with you. I agree with you. But the biggest issue we've got is if he changes things back to the way it was, then we are cooked in midfield, because everything's going to bypass our midfield because they play long ball. They play long ball. And if he's going to play Robinson or he's going to play Kirkes and he's going to invert them, then we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed, because he's just going down the left-hand side or it's going down the right-hand side. And we know how they're going to play. We know how they're going to play. Brentford don't have a different way of playing. They play a hell of a lot of set pieces. They cross the ball a lot, and they play a lot of long ball football. And they have a player who's a handful up front. Thiago's a handful. Thiago is a handful, and he's probably going to put himself right up against Konate, and there's going to be a battle in there with runners coming off him, and who knows? But we have to win games in midfield. This is something that Liverpool have not been able to do all season, is win the midfield battle. We haven't been able to win the midfield battles. And it's because we don't have a midfield. And I don't understand it. I don't understand how we've gone from this Brexit midfield that Jurgen installed into Liverpool, which made us so hard to beat in midfield. We had this Brexit midfield of industrious, hard-working midfielders that would win the battles, with the likes of Milners, Hendersons, Fabinhos, Gini Wijnaldums. We had those players, and then we moved to other players like your Gravenberchs, your McAllisters, your Dominic Szoboszlais, your Curtis Joneses, all good midfielders who can hold on to the ball and play well with it. But now it's like, well, you don't have to do midfield work anymore, mate. I want you to be an attacking midfielder. I want you to go so far up the other end of the pitch that the midfield gets bypassed. And I don't understand it. I genuinely do not understand it. It's quite foreign to me now. This was the midfield yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take the chat out for a sec. So this was the midfield yesterday. This is our midfield. It's one player. We scored 2 goals from this, by the way. And this is what I wanted to talk about. We scored 2 goals, and we are waxing lyrical about how Liverpool played. It was one pass. It was one pass. Andy Robinson put a 35, 40-yarder straight through their entire team. Yeah. And if you look at where Ekitike starts running, he's way inside his own half. That was just a brilliant goal by Ekitike and a good pass by Robbo, and that's fair enough. And then the other goal, which was created by Wirtz, was one midfield pass through their team again, which cuts out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Wirtz then makes the run. Wirtz then crosses it for Cody to score a tap in. There's nothing special about that. That's just an individually great pass and finish. That's what it is. But the problem I've got is we don't have a midfield anymore. We've lost our midfield. We've literally lost our midfield right now. We've lost our midfield right now because it looks like this. This was the game. This wasn't just today. I could show you this as Manchester United, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal, Bournemouth. We could go into games last season, Fulham. Like, we could go into games last season, Brighton. There's plenty of games that we move into last season as well, where we had this system where we had midfielders in attack and we had defenders that weren't thinking about, well, what if we get broken on? Like what if I'm too far up the other end of the pitch? What if I lose the ball? What if someone else loses the ball? What happens next? There's no thought of, well, if the opposition take the ball off me here, they then have 5-on-4, which Manchester United had, which Eintracht Frankfurt have, which Newcastle have, which Chelsea have, Crystal Palace have. It's a common theme. Brentford will be no different. Brentford will be no different. And the reason we coped with it yesterday and the reason we played so well yesterday is because we had Curtis Jones, who understood the game situation. Oh, hang on, sorry. We had Curtis Jones that understood the in-game situation, that he stayed in midfield. He stayed there. And Andy Robertson just ran off. Like, literally just ran off. Like, there's no thought of defending by Andy Robertson and also Conor Bradley. There's no thought of, well, what's going on behind me? Because they're so gung-ho in getting involved in the build-up because they've been told to. They've been told to get forward as much as they can in the inverted role, which basically means they cut in the inside and they underlap the attacker on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, if it was Wirtz or if it was Cody. And that's what happens. And Andy Robertson was doing exactly the same. He was so far up the pitch, Curtis Jones would then drop into the defence. Or Curtis Jones would stay in the midfield. Like, Dominic Szoboszlai would bomb forward. Like, if Gravenberch was playing there, Gravenberch would bomb forward. And that's kind of how it works with this midfield setup. It's one guy in midfield and everybody else is trying to get involved in the build-up. And if the ball gets taken off us or there's a bad pass, they are one pass away from being right up against our back three or back two. And what made it different against Eintracht Frankfurt yesterday was Curtis Jones had the awareness to understand that I need to stay here. Like, there's a gaping hole behind me where Andy Robinson's just buggered off. And I need to be on this pitch in this position. And that's the reason why Curtis Jones, for me, was man of the match. And the reason why Curtis Jones had this game, let me show you the. Sorry, let me just share my screen. Let me just close this. Let me just share my screen. And this is the reason why Curtis Jones had. This is the reasons why Curtis Jones's heat map looked like this. This is why he was so important for us in this game. Because he stayed in midfield all the time. Like he never wandered into the attack. Look, he's not in the box once. He never went into their box once. Actually, he did get in the box once. He had a shot at the end, which their goalie saved, which was another brilliant pass by Florian Wirtz. By Mo Salah. That was brilliant pass by Mo Salah. But this is the difference in playing Curtis Jones on the left-hand side of midfield. I think this is the future. I think this is the only thing right now that's going to save Arne Slot's tactics. I genuinely do. Because if he doesn't change the personnel to play in certain positions, then it's going to just be the same. It's not going to click because it didn't click with those players in there. And look, Ryan Gravenberch is a fantastic player, okay? He's an absolutely fantastic player, an incredible athlete. But I'm saying it right now. I think he might need to come out of the team. I think he might need to come out of the team for this midfield to work. If Arnie wants to continue playing the attacking midfield, the number 10 position, then I'm not sure Ryan Gravenberch can play in the 8 next to Curtis Jones. I don't think that position's going to work. I think it needs to have Dominic Szoboszlai there. And right now, with the way that attack is set up, I don't think Dominic Szoboszlai can play in the 10 because we have to play Florian Wirtz or Ekitike. Like, Ekitike and Florian Wirtz have to play in the same team. They have to play together in the same team. Right now, they are the most informed attackers. Like, Florian Wirtz creates the chances. Ekitike seems to be the only one that scores them, and Cody. So, for me, I think Ekitike and Wirtz need to play. And if that's the situation where Cody Gakpo never gets dropped, then unfortunately, I think Dominic Szoboszlai needs to play in midfield with Curtis Jones. Like, for that to work. Otherwise, what are we doing? Like, are we genuinely going to play another midfield of Gravenberch and McAllister with Dominic Szoboszlai in the 10? Like, is that what we're going to do again? Then Curtis Jones is going to get dropped. Because I'll show you Dominic Szoboszlai's heat map. Oops. Sorry. Actually, I've got it here, I think. I'll show you Dominic Szoboszlai's heat map. So that was his heat map in the Frankfurt game. And like I said, he is not defensive at all. He's offensive. Everything he wants to do is in the opposition's half. Everything he wants to do is closer to the goal. Like, he hasn't got a thought of defending. So this nonsense is playing him as a right back is never going to work because he's not a defensive player. And we don't want Dominic Szoboszlai to be a defensive player. The guy's got an absolute rocket of a shot. And he's got an eye for a pass. So don't play him defensively, if you ask me. Yeah? But he needs to be able to stay in the midfield. If you're playing him in the pivot, he needs to stay in the pivot. He needs to stay closer to the pivot as he can. And if you're going to play a Gravenberch or a McAllister in the midfield next to him, then someone needs to stay in midfield. Like, someone needs to stay in midfield. And I feel like the relationship between Jones and Szoboszlai works better than the relationship between Gravenberch and Jones, or Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. But we know Arnie likes McAllister. So McAllister might just go back in against Brentford. Like, it could literally be McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai as right back with Wirtz as the number 10. It could actually just be that again. And then Salah plays right wing. Isaac plays up front, or Ekitike plays up front. And then you've got Cody Gakpo on the left again. And then you've got the same situation where Cody's in the way of McAllister. McAllister's in the way of Wirtz, and then Wirtz is in the way of Ekitike, and all four players are in each other's space again. Like you've just won 5-1. You've just won 5-1. Stick with something that's got you something right now. Stick with something that's just got you something right now. But I don't know. But what I do know is this guy needs to play games. Because every game Ekitike starts, we win. Every game Isaac starts, we lose. And unfortunately, he doesn't fit the system right now. And he's also not fit. And for me, this has to be your midfield. This has to be your midfield. Like, I don't see anything else that's going to work than those three in the midfield for me right now. Gravenberch has been brilliant. I get it. And it would be unfortunate that he's the one that loses out. But I feel like Liverpool have more structure with those three in the midfield than with Gravenberch or McAllister. I just do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you also asked the question, if you are so hell-bent on playing inverted left backs and right backs, why don't you just play Gravenberch in your defence now? Like, why don't you just play a back three and have one of the defenders who can bring the ball out comfortably into the half space? Gravenberch can do that. Like, I'm at a stage where I'm just confused. It's like, what is the left back actually doing? Not a lot. He's more than likely to drop into midfield. Just play Gravenberch. Like, really? Just play Gravenberch. like, can Gravenberch defend? Yes. Can Gravenberch bring the ball out into midfield? Yes. So just play him. Like, stop arsing around with this Andy Robinson or Milas Kerkez, who can't do that role well. Either one of them can't do the role well. Or on the right-hand side, like, you want to play... I mean, from what I've got, you want to play Dominic Szoboszlai there. That's what you want to play there. He's played right back more than any other right back we've got. Yeah? Frimpong isn't a right back, and now he's injured. And Bradley hasn't had one good game yet playing as the right back. Play Gravenberch. Just play Gravenberch there. Like the guy's defensively minded because he played in the DM role. Yeah? You know he's not going to get forward because you'll want him to stay there because you've told him to. And you want to play him. So, and you also want your right back to invert so he brings the ball into midfield to start the play. Well, Gravenberch can do that. Like, I'm starting to just sit there and go, like, some of these decisions don't make any sense, but you want to get all your best players in the team. So put them in your team, but put them in positions that are going to make them work. And you build up as a back three. Like in every single game, you build up as a back three. Like we watched it over and over again, and it looks terrible. Put a midfielder there. Play Gravenberch. Just play Gravenberch. Like that's the simple task that you do now. If you want to play this back three nonsense that you want to build up in, just put Gravenberch there. And what you could do, if you really wanted, is you could have Dominic Szoboszlai on the far side to him. Just on the far side. So he can maybe be more right-sided. And then Gravenberch can be your build-up centre-back. And he can drop into the centre-back position. Like, and you have a good midfield there, by the way. You have Curtis Jones. You have Dominic Szoboszlai. You have Gravenberch who can come into there as well, which gives you more solidity. Yeah. And then you have Wirtz in front of them. And Wirtz can just be a free role. Like, he doesn't need to be the 10. You can just say, look, you can just play free role now. Like, he played free role against Frankfurt because I hardly ever seen him, like, on the right midfield. He was dropping into the centre. He made a few runs onto the right at the end of the game and he got his assist. But just do that. Like, if you're so hell-bent on having this build-up play from your defence, play Gravenberch in there. That's it, really. I ain't got really much else to say on that. But you have to play Wirtz and you have to play Ekitike now. They both have to play games, like, in the same game. And they stay on the pitch. Like, stop substituting them, because when you substitute Ekitike, we just drop. Like, we just drop. Like, it's like 20% has left the pitch. And it's weird. It's really weird. As soon as you make changes to that midfield in the attacking sense and that attack, Liverpool just go control, gone, back to the opposition. And we can't let that happen. We just can't let that happen. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to show you, and before we get into the preview, is this one because it's funny. The Hugo Ekitike circle. Good game, good game, good game, good game. There you go. Okay, that's the Ekitike circle. I thought that was funny. There's over 160 of you in here. Big up. If anyone isn't a subscriber, please hit the subscribe. It's free. And if you haven't hit the likes, please do. Appreciate it. And I also wanted to let you know that you can become a member. It's 99p, and there's loads of membership videos. And I also do a conspiracy show on a Sunday for members only, which I'm sure a lot of you would love. There's a couple of things I wanted to cover. So I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that Arnie said in the press conference. And I also wanted to talk about some of the stuff that the players talked about. Okay. So, slot comparing last night to recent performances. Maybe yes, although I saw a lot of similarities in the last few weeks, in the last few games we played, I also saw some differences. The similarities were that we already created a few chances before we conceded the first goal. Before we conceded the first one, and the first chance we conceded was usually a goal. In the end, it turned out to be the only chance we conceded today. Why was that? Because we went 3-1 up, and so then it's easier to control the game than when you're 1-0 down at all time. Okay. Talking shit, really, isn't he? Let's be fair. Like, does that actually make any sense to anyone? Well, of course it does. Of course it's easier to play a game when you're winning 3-1. Like, of course. Like, you're now talking in riddles. Like, although we saw similarities in the last few weeks, in the last few games, no, we haven't. No, we haven't. No, we haven't. We've been arse for the last few games, and we were good last night. But we were good because we took the lead through 2 set pieces. That's it. That's it. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. We scored 2 set pieces, and the game was easier. Of course it was. Starting to really, really grind my gears, this guy. Starting to really grind my gears. And then you got Dom. We had lots of meetings. We spoke with each other. But the most important thing is that we stay together. And that was after the Manchester United game. Now, I'm starting to really get annoyed with our players talking. Like, I don't need to hear our players talk anymore. Like, I don't need to hear our players talk about the team themselves. Stop doing interviews. Like, I'm okay with you doing interviews when we're playing well. But when we're playing ass, I don't want to hear what you've got to say. I want to see. I want to see it. I want to see a difference. I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear this stuff. I just want to see it. Do your talking on the pitch. Dominic Szoboszlai isn't the guy that needs to be talking. Like, he's been brilliant. Obviously, we also had a proper debrief with the manager, but we also had a separate one with the players. So this is Virgil talking about the meeting that they had on the Monday, but they also had a meeting with the manager. Well, the game was on Sunday, so when did they have that meeting with the manager? What was that, after the game? Like, I don't know, but the meeting helped because Virgil was a beast, and Virgil led by example, and the team did well. Not going to lie, the team did well. Also, big up John for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Go and check out some of that content later on. Not now. And then you've got Arnie talking about Curtis. I'm not surprised he touched the ball a lot because I positioned him lower as we were missing Ryan. Curtis, since I've been here, has been playing. His playing time has went up, and there's a reason. I like how he has progressed. Look, do you really think Arnie was the one that positioned Curtis? Or do you think Curtis probably just looked behind him and went, there's a massive hole there in midfield, which there's been all season. I'm going to go and fill it. I'm going to go and stand there and make a difference. I don't think that's got anything to do with Arnie. I think that's Arnie taking credit for something that Curtis automatically did himself. Oh, the meeting was on Tuesday. Okay. Okay, so maybe Slot had a meeting on Monday. But does Curtis get dropped for the Brentford game? Probably, because Arnie will probably revert back to type. I also find that interesting that we played him lower because we were missing Ryan. Ryan doesn't play in defensive midfield right now. Ryan plays as a friggin' attacking midfielder. Like, you're giving Gravenberch license to get into the attack now, which is stupid, completely stupid. So that doesn't make any sense. That comment kind of confuses me, which is what a lot of Arnie's comments do. Another thing I wanted to show you was this. Liverpool have missed. So Liverpool have created more big chances than any other team in the Premier League. 24 big chances we created, and our conversion rate is 29%. That's really bad. Like, really bad. Now, the question is, who are those big chances being created to? So we need to look into that, and I will look into that. Like, don't worry, I will look into that. Sorry, we haven't created the most chances. Crystal Palace have. Crystal Palace have created 33. And they've also got a better conversion rate than us. But it's really interesting to see that Crystal Palace have got a better conversion rate. Sunderland, Manchester United have, Arsenal have, Fulham have, Brentford have, Tottenham have, Brighton, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Burnley, Wolves. Our conversion rate is in the toilet. It's in the toilet. That needs to change. And the only way that changes is if you play Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz closer to each other. Closer to each other. Build a team around them. Build a team around them. What else have I got for you? Oh, I thought this one was interesting as well. Crystal Palace got beat at home 1-0 by AEK Larnaca. Aston Villa got beat at home by Young Boys 2-1. We have Aston Villa next after Brentford. I'm just saying, Aston Villa were beaten at home by a Swiss team who no one's ever heard of. And Crystal Palace were beaten at home by a team that no one's ever heard of. I'm just saying. And I also wanted to mention this because Lionel Messi had said that he thinks Rio Engamoa is the third best promising footballer in the world. And he can't even get off the bench. He can't even get off the bench against a team we're beating 5-1. Like, is Rio ever going to play for Liverpool again this season? Like, genuinely? Is Cody Gakpo ever going to be subbed? Like, is he ever going to come off that left wing? Like, why can't Rio play 10 minutes against Eintracht Frankfurt? I don't get it. Why have you kept him? Why didn't you just send him on loan? And I also wanted to bring this up as well because Liverpool have been linked with William Pacho from PSG. I think he's sensational. I think he is the perfect replacement if Konate goes. I think he's the perfect replacement if Konate goes. And I'm starting to believe that Konate will go. I'm starting to believe that Konate is going to go to Real Madrid. I just think that's going to happen now. If we could get William Pacho, that would be amazing. 65 million. I think that's a brilliant transfer. He's not playing consistently for PSG. Now they've got Zabani. So there's a lot of, and also Bernardo. They've got quite a lot of defenders now. So that might be one we could potentially get. I've also heard that Mark Guehi, as his agent, has met with Bayern Munich now. So Mark Guehi to Bayern Munich is looking really likely. There's a lot of players that want to go to Bayern Munich now because they're just dominating. Like, they've just won 22 Champions League games 22 Champions League games on the run, I think, or 22 games on the trot or something like that. They look like a team that could probably get Guehi because Elise plays for them. Like he's his mate. So I think the Guehi deal's probably done now. I think that's probably not going to happen with Liverpool. But Pancho would be a great one. And also the committee wanted Pancho a couple of years ago. Yeah, so let's now have a look at the preview to the Brentford game. So let me take this down. Okay, so Brentford versus Liverpool, key stats. So the Opta supercomputer is back in Liverpool to breathe back life into their Premier League title defence and is giving them a 54% chance of victory at Brentford. Liverpool have lost their last 3 Premier League games, as many defeats as in their previous 39 games. They could become the first team in a competitive history to lose 4 straight games via goals conceded in the final 10 minutes. Only Erland Haaland, 11, and Antonio Semenyo, 6, have scored more Premier League goals than Brentford's Igor Thiago. I also wanted to mention that if we lose the Brentford game in the last 10 minutes, that's the first time any team's done it in history. That's the first time any team's ever done it in history. I mean, I've got to be honest, James. Do we even need to talk to Guehi? The guy was in a frigging tracksuit. The guy was in a Liverpool tracksuit getting photos taken. Do we even need to talk to him? like if we still need to talk to this guy, then you might as well just give up. You might as well just give up because the guy signed. Like he was done. Like he'd had his medical. He was in a Liverpool trackie. About to get on a plane. Like if we still need to talk to him, then it's never going to happen, mate. It's not going to happen if we still need to talk to him. So Igor Thiago's got 5 goals. Liverpool needed a morale-boosting victory after 4 successive defeats across all competitions, and they got exactly that on Wednesday, thumping Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1 in the Europa Champions League. Ekitike, Virgil van Dijk, Konate, Cody and Dominic Szoboszlai were all on target in Germany, with the Reds' attack finding form after Arne Slot's bold decision to drop Mo Salah. He was rested. Liverpool scored 5 goals out of 3.21 XG. They returned to the Premier League action against Brentford on Saturday with 3 domestic defeats on the spin, giving them ground to make up on title rivals Arsenal. Before their recent slump, which has seen them beaten by Crystal Palace, Chelsea and Manchester United via goals conceded in the 84th minute or later, the Reds had only lost 3 of their previous 39 league games, winning 27 and drawing 9. They last lost 4 in a row in February 2021, while their last enduring a 4-match losing streak within the first 9 games of a league season was in 1993 and 1994. They could now become the first team in Premier League history to lose 4 consecutive matches via goals conceded in the final 10 minutes. They could also become the second team to lose 4 games in a row, having equalised in each after Palace did so in November 2016. Liverpool's comeback win in Germany, remember we also conceded first in that, came with Salah being limited to a role of the 74th minute substitute. The Egyptian now without a goal in 7 games in all competitions. An injury to Alexander Isak, who started against Eintracht but was withdrawn for Federico Chiesa at half-time, could mean Salah is restored to the starting lineup at the Ekitike Community Stadium. But he is struggling to replicate last season's performances in almost every metric. Salah is averaging fewer goals, 0.25 to 0.77, expected goals, 0.3 xg to 0.68, shots, 1.8 to 3.4, shots on target, 0.7 to 1.6, touches in the opposition's box, 6 to 10, assists, 0.25 to 0.48, and chances created, 2 to 2.37. Chances isn't the problem. It's opposition box touches per 90 minutes in the Premier League season compared to 2024-2025. 2024-2025, he had the season of his life. He's never going to replicate it. Nobody will. Nobody will. He has also gone 7 consecutive Premier League matches without scoring a non-penalty goal for the first time in his Liverpool career. Isak's injury and Salah's poor form might mean Ekitike is now the most nailed-on starter in Liverpool's attack this week, after he struck on the counter to get the Reds level against his former club on Wednesday. Ekitike's 6 goals in all competitions this term is at least 2 more than any other Liverpool player, including scoring 3 times in 415 minutes of Premier League action. Cody Gakpo is the only other Liverpool player to score 3 goals in the league in 2025-2026, though he should have had more than one in last week's 2-1 home defeat to Manchester United, having missed a glaring chance and also hitting the woodwork on 3 occasions. That made him just the second Liverpool player on record since 2023-2024 to hit the bar or post 3 or more times in a single Premier League game after Darwin Núñez against Chelsea, when he hit it 4 times. Liverpool will face a difficult task against Brentford team, who have won 2 of their last 3 Premier League matches. More victories than they managed in their previous 7, won 1, drawn 2, lost 4. After cruising to a 2-0 success at beleaguered West Ham on Monday, the Bees are targeting consecutive wins for the first time since April and May last season under Thomas Frank. Brentford managed 15 shots in the first half on Monday's game alone, their joint most in the opening 45 minutes in any Premier League match, previously reaching that figure at home to Burnley in October 2023. This is something we need to be aware of. Brentford are better attacking now. They shoot more. They create more chances. This is something we need to be aware of, okay? Because they've got a different manager. They're not going to play exactly the same way. Igor Thiago led the way for 6 shots and 3 on target, and shots from inside the box 6, and touches in the opposition box 10 in that game. Only Erling Haaland 11 and Antonio Semenyo 6 have bettered his 5 Premier League goals this season. Thiago has hit the target with exactly half of his shots in the Premier League in 2025-2026, 9 of 18 excluding blocks. He has the shooting accuracy of 69%, and no other player has managed at least as many shots as Thiago can boost a better ratio. And I want to share this tab. 2 seconds. Why isn't it sharing? Bear with me. Let me just share this screen. This is Thiago's shot map. That's Thiago's shot map. Okay. He's deadly. 69%. This guy's deadly. Okay. The Brazilian will be relishing the prospect of going up against the Liverpool team, who have failed to adequately protect Virgil van Dijk and Konate for large spells this season and will hope to get more serves from Michael Chiesa. I talked about Michael Chiesa for a right back for Liverpool last season, by the way. I talked about him quite a lot. People weren't talking about this guy. I think he would have been a perfect signing for the right. The Brentford right back created 7 chances against West Ham, the joint most by a player in a Premier League match this season, alongside Sean Longstaff in Leeds United's 2-2 draw with Bournemouth. Those 7 account for 37% of the chances Chiesa has created across 20 appearances in all competitions, 7 out of 19. As for team news, Aaron Hickey could be fit again for the hosts, but Edmund Paris Magomo and long-term absentee Antonio Malambo will not be available to Keith Andrews. Former Liverpool players Queven Gallagher, Sepp van der Berg, Jordan Henderson and Fabio Carvalho could all feature against their former team. Liverpool have a growing injury list now with Alisson, Leone, Frimpong, Gravenberch, and also Isaac may be available after missing out in midweek following an ankle injury sustained against Manchester United. Brentford versus Liverpool head-to-head. Having lost just one of their 3 Premier League meetings with Liverpool, won 1, drawn 1, lost 1, Brentford have now lost each of their last 5 against the Reds. Liverpool won both meetings between the teams last season by a 2-0 scoreline, with the most recent of those victories coming via stoppage time brace by Darwin Núñez. Indeed, they have scored at least once in all 8 of their Premier League games against Brentford, their second best 100% scoring rate against a single opponent, having netted in all 14 meetings with Queen Park Rangers. But Liverpool have lost each of their last 4 Premier League away games against teams from London. They have lost on 5 consecutive league visits to the capital between March and November. The Opta supercomputer is forecasting a first Premier League win in over a month for Liverpool, who are assigned a 54% chance of victory. Brentford given 23 and a draw 22. Liverpool's recent slump has seen their hopes of retaining the title slip to 18% behind Arsenal 53 and Manchester City 18.2. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild that our chances of winning the league have now dropped below Manchester City? So Arsenal and Manchester City are now ahead of Liverpool in the odds to win the league. Isn't that crazy? So this is the lineup for Brentford. Queven Gallagher, Michael Chiesa, Nathan Collins, Sepp van der Berg, Christopher Ayer, who will play left back, Jordan Henderson, Gerhard Yarmoliuk, who's been brilliant, by the way, Michael Damsgaard, who's also been brilliant, by the way, Danjo Atara, Kevin Schade, and Igor Thiago. I also wanted to mention that Keith Andrews was Brentford's set-piece coach under Thomas Frank. I just wanted to mention that in case nobody knew that. I know. And we've conceded 6 set-piece goals out of 11. Sorry, 12. We've conceded 12 goals because Frankfurt was our 12th goal. So we've conceded 12 goals and 6 of them are from set pieces. I just wanted to say that. Liverpool's potential lineup: Mamadashvili, Conor Bradley, Kanate, Virgil van Dijk, Milos Kerkez. It'll be Andy Robinson. Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Florian Wirtz, Mo Salah, Cody, and Hugo Ekitike. Nothing different. Nothing different. According to that lineup, it's going to be exactly the same. According to that lineup, it's going to be the same system that we've been playing all season. Like that's what that reads to me. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I also wanted to show you Florian Wirtz's heat map. I think it's got to be the case of just letting Wirtz just free roll it. Like you're going to have to just let him just express himself. Like, he's not going to play on the right because Mo's probably going to play against Brentford. Like, that's what's probably going to happen. If Mo gets dropped again, that'll be the first time Mo's been dropped for 2 games, I think, at Liverpool. I think that's pretty much going to be how that goes. I think Kyoto would have worked for us as well, mate. I think he would have. I think he would have been great. They are long throw specialists. You're absolutely right. They absolutely peg the ball in. And they've also got Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson is pretty good at passing. Like, we can say whatever you want about Hendo, but Hendo was an absolute legend for us for years and years. He really was. And he's got a good pass on him. He's still a good player. Like, he's not the player we had. And I just think this guy has to play for Liverpool. I think he has to play. I just think he has to play. Like, he was so good against Eintracht Frankfurt. So good. Like, 122 passes. He was instrumental in everything we did. Like, and we all sit there and we talk about, well, how do we get the ball from the midfield to the attack? Like, how do we do this transition football now? The guy's right in front of you. That's how Liverpool make this Arnie Slot system somehow work. Like, attacking wise, this is probably how it has to work. Defensive wise, he plays a big part as well. But I just feel that you need to have control in games with the ball in midfield. And right now we don't. It's like a hot potato. Like, it's like a hot potato. We lose the ball so much in transition when we're trying to get the ball up the other end of the park, and we get counter-attacked. But this guy keeps the ball and makes sure it goes to another player from Liverpool. Like, his pass completion rate is elite. It's like Pedri's. I'm not kidding you. Like, it is elite. He is an elite footballer in making sure that he doesn't lose the ball. He never gives the ball away. Like, everyone can say, oh, he holds on to the ball too much. I don't care. He doesn't lose it. He can hold on to the ball as much as he wants. He never loses it. If we're winning the game 1-0 and Curtis Jones holds on to the ball for 10 minutes, I do not care. Because he will get the ball to another Liverpool player consistently, all the time. And it's never backwards. Look at the play. Look how many times he passes the ball and it goes to one of our players and it's forward. It's never backwards vibes or sideways. It's always forward. He is so important right now. So important right now. And Arnie's got his head up his arse if he genuinely doesn't see that he is the guy that can make Arnie's shit tactics somehow work. I think that's the guy that does it. I genuinely do. Jones gives Vitinha vibes. He does, mate. He does. I think Jones has matured into an unbelievable player. I think Jones now makes the decisions which he second guessed. Like a couple of years ago, he second guessed those decisions. Now he just makes them. Like, how on earth this guy's on 15 grand a week is just beyond me. Like, it's absolutely beyond me how this guy's on 15 grand a week. Like, the third choice goalkeeper earns more wages than Curtis Jones. Like, Curtis Jones should be on 100 grand, 150 grand a week for me. He is a brilliant, brilliant player who should be paid the right wage. And if we genuinely are arsing around with contracts with him, like, he goes to another club and we look like idiots because he's still only 23 years old. He's still only 23 years old, and he is an elite footballer for me. Like, for me, he could fit into Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid team, and he wouldn't look like a duck out of water. He could just fit into Xabi Alonso's midfield, and you'd be like, yeah, great. You'd be like, great. Him and Jude Bellingham, absolutely dominate. Not a problem. I think he's brilliant. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I've never had a bad word to say about Curtis. Never had a bad word to say about him. He's also probably the player that's missing for England. And I've said this so many times on so many podcasts. Like, Curtis, he can make Arnie Slot's tactics work because he will find a way. But you got to play the guy, and someone's got to get dropped. Someone's got to get dropped, and this Liverpool team is packed full of brilliant players, and unfortunately, someone's gonna get dropped. McAllister, Gravenberch, like Mo Salah, like Isaac, like someone has to get dropped out of this team for somebody else to come in to do a job, and the fans aren't going to like it, and it's going to be, oh, well, McAllister's getting dropped. Well, McAllister's being shit, so yeah, he does get dropped. But then it's like, well, Gravenberch has played well. Well, he has played well, but he's not working in this system because we're not controlling the ball in midfield enough. So maybe Gravenberch is the one that comes out. Like, maybe there's a reshuffle somewhere else. But for me, he has to play. And I've said this now for quite a long time. Personally, the number 10 for Liverpool seems to be the problem with this system. I'm going to bring up the tactics board quickly before I finish. So I'm going to bring up the tactics board before we finish. So let me just close some screens. Okay. So I'm going to bring up the tactics board. Because I like, in build-up, we don't look like this in build-up. What am I saying? In build-up right now, we kind of look like this. So I'm going to just bring the players back. So you got these two here. So this is against Eintracht Frankfurt, yeah? So we got Jones. That wasn't Kirkes. That was Robbo, who was like here. Then you got Cody, who was like here. Then you got Wirtz, who was over here. So he was here. Hang on, I'm just going to move things around 2 seconds. Salah wasn't playing. Okay, so build up like this. So you got BVD Canate, you got Bradley here, you got Wirtz here, you got Ekitike here. Grav didn't play. Hang on, my team's all over the place here. And you got Dom in midfield, like on an island, because that was what it looked like, seriously. Yeah, you got Ekitike, Wirtz, Bradley. There was one more. Hang on, I'm missing a player. Who am I missing? Is that? Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's it. So it kind of looked like this. So it kind of looked a little bit like this, actually. Okay, so in build-up, it kind of looks like this. Okay, so this is build-up. Yeah, this is build-up. Okay. Right. So this is Liverpool. Okay, so this is Liverpool under Arnie Slot. Yeah. This is when we have the ball. Yeah. Okay. Now the biggest problem I have with this Liverpool team, and this is across the board. Yeah. We have a overload on one side way too often. Okay, so the overload's on the right hand on the right hand side right now with Bradley. Yeah. We have two midfielders. One of them wants to be here. One of them, if that's McAllister, he would be here as well, by the way. But if that's Curtis Jones, he has the tactical awareness to be able to stay in this space. Just like he did on the heat map, Robbo just bombs forward. Okay, so you've now got a situation where Robbo's high, Gapco's wide, Ekitike's kind of in this space, Isaac's around here, Verts is either wide here like this, but he didn't really play like that in the game, or here. And then you got your two central defenders. Your entire midfield now gets bypassed by one pass. So if the ball's intercepted when it's around the attack, a long ball, which happened against Eintracht Frankfurt, by the way, was played from here. Hang on, why can't I? Why isn't that working? Ooh. Okay, I don't know why that's working. Okay, but a long ball was played. Hang on, maybe this works like this. Why doesn't that? Does that work? Okay, so long ball was played from here all the way across the midfield, here, like this. In the Eintracht Frankfurt game. Wirtz lost the ball here, and a ball was played right through our midfield, right over to this side, and there was nobody in midfield to be able to do anything. Curtis Jones was over here for some reason. I think he was covering for Bradley, who was so far over this way. Actually, it wasn't Bradley, sorry. It was Frimpong. Frimpong was so high up on this side that Curtis came over to cover, and the midfield got completely bypassed. So as soon as Bradley came on, he played a little bit more. He played a little bit more in the middle, like here, like in this lane. And Curtis realised, hang on, we just got done on that side. We got done on that side because Robbo was too high up, and I was over on the other side covering for the right back. So he then decided, I'm going to sit here more, and I'm going to play more in this position. So if the ball comes over here again, I'm going to be in that position to be able to cover for it. And he was. Okay. Now, the situation we've got, which is why I think we dropped the 10, is the 10 is this person here. It's normally Wirtz. But yesterday, it was Ekitike. Ekitike was the 10 who played behind Isaac. But he ended up next to Isaac, and they rotated quite a lot. So Isaac played here, Ekitike played there. They kind of rotated that position. And it looked so good because Curtis Jones wasn't playing like McAllister and getting up into this area and getting in Ekitike's way. And also, Cody was crossing the ball in. He was crossing the ball in. He crossed the ball in like 3 or 4 times, which was good. And he was also going quite wider, which was good. Yeah? Which makes a lot of sense because when he cuts in, he's then in the way of Ekitike and Isaac. And when McAllister plays, he's in the way of McAllister. So it's like 4 players all in each other's space. So that looks like something's being talked about there. And also in Slot's press conference, Slot actually said, Kirkes has been good and he makes the runs, but Gapco doesn't pass it to him. Well, that's what you've got to sort out, Arnie. You have to tell your players to do that. That's your job. That's not their job. They don't just decide the tactics. You've obviously told Cody to cut inside. And so he cuts inside. You told him to do it. So he does it. If you want him to overlap with Kirkes and play the ball, then you need to fucking tell him to do it, mate. You need to tell him to do it. When you see him go, pass the ball to him. You need to tell him to do that. Otherwise, he's not going to do it. He's going to cut inside and shoot. And the ball's going to deflect, and then they're gonna be on the break. Okay. To make us stronger and to make us more solidified, which seems to be the big problem, it's simple. You've got your two defenders who push high because they like doing that in Konate and Virgil. Yeah. You have three midfielders, but you have 2 8s. I'm not going to have Jones there, by the way. I am going to have Jones there. I'm going to have Jones on this side as the 8, but I'm going to have Gravenberch. Okay, so you have Kirkes. I'm going to play Kirkes over Robbo every day of the week, by the way. I'm sorry. I know people love Robbo, but not for me. I'm sorry. There's your back four. There's your defensive midfielder, and he is a defensive midfielder. He doesn't get forward. He stays in this lane. He stays here. He stays here in the build-up. You can have your Kirkes in the build-up. You can have your Bradley in the build-up, but one of them has to stay. One of them has to stay. They can't both go at once, and they don't invert. They don't need to invert because you have Gravenberch, who can then come back, collect the ball. He can also drop into the defence if he needs to. So if Kirkes wants to go and Bradley goes, Virgil moves over or Konate moves over. Virgil's kind of stays a bit central. Gravenberch can then drop in. Then Jones and Dom can stay as the 8s. But these are the 8s. And they can go forward and they can go backwards. And that works. Kirkes has the license to move. Bradley has the license to move. But they don't go narrow. And you dropped the 10. The 10 is gone, okay? The 10 is gone. And the weird thing is, this still looks like Arne Slot's system. Like, this doesn't look completely different than what he wants to do. And you still have your 5 defenders. You still have Virgil van Dijk, Konate, Kirkes, Gravenberch and Bradley. But the only difference is you don't have Kirkes in midfield in the centre where he's not comfortable, or Bradley in the midfield in the centre where he's not comfortable. You have them wide where they have the pace to get back if they need to. So if Bradley needs to get back, he can get back. Kirkes, he can get back. Virgil can drop if he wants. Konate can drop. Grav can stay. Grav can stay in this area here. Jones, Dom, back and forth, absolutely fine. They can cover the space here. They've got all this area. And then you have your wide player who will be Mo Salah. Sorry, it's still going to be Salah for me. You've got your wide player who can be Mo Salah, but he doesn't need to be wide. He can stay in this area where he can be the attacker. And Isaac, for me, drops out. I'm sorry. Sorry, but it's Ekitike now. And if you really want to play Cody, which I don't think you should, this works for me. This just works for me. Wirtz maybe plays a little bit deeper because he can run into this space, but Wirtz has the awareness to be here. Ekitike can also drop into midfield because he's capable of doing that. And he can also pull out here or pull out here. And that formation for me, I have too many players. I don't have too many players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't. I've got 11. I've got 11. And that works for me. That absolutely works for me. You've got Mo Salah closer to the box. You've got Bradley who can do the overlap if he wants, but I don't want him underlapping. We don't need the midfield. We don't need fullbacks going into midfield. I don't know. I don't know because I think Gravenberch is a really good defensive midfielder. Like he was the best in the league last season. Like he can drop into the back three if you want, and then you've got a back five in. Look, if the opposition's coming at us in this formation, you could drop into a back five if you really wanted to, because you could just drop Grav into the back three, and then Bradley and Kirkes have got the time to bomb back, and then Virgil van Dijk, if he needs to, can push out, and then Grav is in this space here. But I just look at this and I just see all of the gaps filled. I see all of the gaps on the pitch that have been a problem for us filled. They're all filled. Like, and the opposition, if the opposition want to play a long ball, well, they've got to get past the back three and potentially a Kirkes who isn't in midfield where the ball goes over his head. No, he's not in midfield where the ball can bypass him over his head. He's on the wing position, or the wide position, sorry, where he can push their wingers back. So the ball isn't going to get played beyond him anyway, because he's pushing their winger the opposite direction because he's getting forward. And all it is just dropping the number 10. Because this number 10 really does screw up our midfield. Because then you have a situation where, okay, say you put Dom here. Let me just move Ekitike's run out there. Say you put Dom there, and then you've got Gravenberch and Jones. Now you have one of these players having to do this work. And naturally it's Gravenberch. So now you have Gravenberch having to do this work, but he's also got all of this midfield space. And when McAllister plays, which has been pretty much all the time, he's here. So then you've got Kirkes coming in here to cover this space, and then you have all of this space open against Virgil. All of this area here is free because Kirkes has come in here. And then Gravenberch comes over here. Well, if Gravenberch comes over here, then Bradley then tucks in here. And then you've got a situation where, yeah, you've got players here, but they've still got a huge amount of space behind them, which this guy's got to cover and this guy's got to cover. And then you've got an overload in attack. And they're all stood too close to each other anyway. They're all stood too close to each other. And the thing is as well, is everybody's saying to me that Wirtz won't work as a left winger. Did you see how he played as a right winger? The left wing is his natural position. So he's going to be even better on the left than he is on the right. And he got 2 assists from the right. And he's not naturally a right winger. He doesn't play it. Like his heat map for Bayer Leverkusen, he didn't play on the right. He played on the left. So can you imagine how good Wirtz is going to be? If he got 2 assists last night playing on the right, if you play him on the left. And he hasn't played for Liverpool once on the left. Arne Slot right now with Florian Wirtz is doing exactly what Jurgen Klopp did with Cody Hapko. Playing him out of position consistently. All over the place, but not where he's natural. And look what happened to Cody when Arne Slot went, hang on a minute, you're not an attacker. You're not a centre forward. You're not an attacking midfielder. You're a left winger. So he played him on the left and he had a brilliant season. Right now, the same's going to happen to Florian Wirtz for me. He's not going to have the season that he should have because he's not being played on the left wing or the left attacking midfield position, which is where I have him right now. Left attacking midfield. Because his best mate, Cody, plays every game. Plays every single game. Plays every single game. I do like the diamond as well, you're right. I do like the diamond. But for me, how are we going to play against Brentford? Let me get rid of all of these lines and I'll show you. For me, this is how we're going to play against Brentford. No, you're not going to like it. Sorry. Sorry, but you're probably not going to like it. But I think this is how we're going to play against Brentford. You're going to have Konate. You're going to have Virgil. This is in the build-up. Konate, Virgil. You're going to have Kirkes isn't going to play. Robbo's going to play. You can have Robbo here. You're not going to have Grav because I think he might still be injured. So you're probably going to have... I know you're not going to like... Actually, if Grav's fit, this is how we're going to play. And I really hope I'm wrong, by the way. I really hope I'm wrong. But I think this is how we're going to play. So you got Robbo. McAllister's going to be here. Bradley isn't going to play. He's going to be on the bench. So you're going to have Dom here. Jones isn't going to play. You're going to have Verts here. You're going to have Ekitike here. Sorry, you're going to have Verts here. You're going to have Ekitike here. You're going to have Cody here. You're going to have like this. Sorry. You're going to have Salah out here completely on his own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who am I missing? I'm missing one more player. Who the hell am I missing? Dom's the right back. Max the midfielder. Oh yeah, Dom's the right back, sorry. So you're going to have Grav. Sorry. So Grav's going to be like here. Max going to be like here. That's probably like that, if I'm honest. Robbo's probably here. That's it. Sorry. That's going to be the Brentford setup. Dom's going to play right back. Grav's going to be in midfield on an island on his own with 20 yards. With 20 yards between everybody. McAllister, Gapco, Ekitike and Verts are all going to be on top of each other. Salah's going to be completely isolated by himself with players marking him out the game. Dom's going to be too central, which means he's going to get done on the right-hand side. Robbo's in transition is probably going to end up here or here. And then the opposition's literally just going to go or over here. And what's going to happen here, if Hendo plays a ball here, Virgil's going to head it or Konate's going to head it. And it's going to fall. It's going to fall directly to a Brentford player because we haven't got anybody in that space, which is exactly what happened against Manchester United. Manchester United just played long balls all game. Every single pass was a long ball. And all we did was header the ball back to Manchester United and they would be right on top of us because we had no midfield. And this is the system that Arnie will play against Brentford if he gets Gravenberch fit again. If Gravenberch is fit again, I'm telling you, Gravenberch goes straight in and McAllister goes straight in and Dominic Szoboszlai will probably end up playing right back because he won't want to play Bradley and Szoboszlai in the same game. Because if he loses one of them, he's only got one right back fit. So we'll want one right back on the bench. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be Conor Bradley. And he'll probably put Verts back in the number 10, which clearly hasn't worked this season for him. And Mo Salah will be on an island on his own with Gravenberch. And someone wrote in the chat, what score do you think it's going to be? They said 2-2 or 2-1 loss. Let me know your predictions. I think it's probably going to be. I think we might win, but I think it's going to be Ekitike. again, who's just going to do a madness. I think it could just be Ekitike doing a madness. Maybe 2-1, 3-2. It could be a high-scoring game. I mean, you can say that looks like shit, but what I'll do is I'll actually stop sharing, and I'll actually take a screenshot. I'll show you a screenshot of the game, of the actual game, of how we actually set up. Have a look at this. This is crazy. Hang on. Let me show you a screenshot. This was Eintracht Frankfurt's goal. Look at the midfield. Look at the midfield. Look at the midfield. Where's the midfield? Where's Liverpool's midfield? Exactly. That's Eintracht Frankfurt's goal. That's how they scored. And the guy who scored the goal is on the far side. On the far side. That's how that was our midfield against Frankfurt before we scored 3 goals. So that was when they scored. So people can sit there and go, "Oh yeah, that's never going to look like." Well, it actually does look like that. That's exactly how our Liverpool team looks this season. Like, this is how our Liverpool team looks this season. Like, look, I'm not making it up. Look, you got Dominic Szoboszlai on an island. The only reason Ekitike is there is because he dropped deep. And I'm not sure why Ekitike drops into that position, the number 22, because he's not normally there. He's normally on the other side. He should be on the left-hand side. So Ekitike would not normally be there. But Gravenberch, but Dominic Szoboszlai was on an island, completely on his own, surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. That's Liverpool. That's Liverpool this season. That's Liverpool this season. I'm sorry. Like, I know you don't want to hear it, but that's Liverpool this season. And against Brentford, it's probably not going to be any difference unless you play Curtis Jones. And Curtis Jones naturally sees the danger and goes, "Fuck me, there's no one in midfield. I should probably be in there." I don't know. Like, I've said it so many times now. So many people have said it. It's like, do we need to show you it? Like, do we need to just take screenshots now of the game so people can see just how bad it is? Just how bad it is. I'll start taking screenshots and just show you it because it's just so bad. Like, and we all seem to bypass it because we're like, "Oh, well, we're creating loads of chances. Look at all the attackers, blah, blah, blah." Where's your midfield gone? Where's the midfield that Jurgen Klopp made Liverpool so great with? You just got rid of it. You just decided, nah, don't need a midfield anymore. Like, he's literally scrapped the midfield, which made us so good. Made us so great. The midfield, the way we set up in midfield, made us so great. Last season, we were unbelievable with that midfield. Unbelievable. It's just gone. Just see you later. Like, don't need it anymore. I don't need it anymore. I don't need Ryan Gravenberch to be an amazing defensive midfielder anymore. No, I don't need him. I need him to get up into the attack. Like, the guy scored no goals last season, and he was the best defensive midfielder. You do not need him to score goals this season. He might be able to score goals, but we certainly don't need him to be there. Like, we need him to be in midfield where he does a really good job, where he won Player of the Season, playing there. He's not going to win Player of the Season playing as an attacking midfielder this year, is he? He's not going to win that award. And I'm not sure he wants to win that award because he is a defensive midfielder and he's really good at it. And now you're telling him to do stuff that he doesn't need to do. The system, Liverpool right now, do not need him to be there. He needs to be right in front of the defence, covering for them because they are being bombarded with tons and tons of passes and long balls. And there's nobody there to win the second ball. There's nobody in the Liverpool midfield stood there to receive the ball when Virgil van Dijk has it, or Konate has it, or Kirkes has it, or Bradley has it. There's nobody in the midfield stood there to go, hang on, I'll take the ball off you and I will take it further up the pitch. No. I'm further up the pitch, which means you have to pass it through all of their midfield to get to me. And they aren't good at doing that. That's not their job. That's not their job. Grav should have been left as a 6. Absolutely. 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 And like I showed you, my formation, which is 4-3-3, really simple, kind of did that for a long time and did really well with it, has Gravenberch as a number 6 and has 2 number 8 because playing the number 10 has been an abomination. It's been awful. Last season, everybody was on Szoboszlai's back saying the guy doesn't do enough. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do this. Why is he in the number 10 position? I think you really need to watch Dominic Szoboszlai last season. He never played the number 10 that often. He was mainly being a defensive number 10. He did a lot of defensive work. Did a lot of running just into space. Like, I don't think you need the number 10. Right now, the number 10 is doing jack shit for you. Right now, the number 10 is getting in the way of your attackers because they want to play deep, which means you're all like in each other's way. Like, just push the number 10 into an 8 and keep him deeper, which means you've got more chance of winning battles in midfield. You've got more chance of controlling the ball. Because right now we have no control of the ball in midfield. Like we got bossed by Burnley, we got bossed by Chelsea, we got bossed by Newcastle, we got bossed by Manchester United, for God's sake. Like really? We got bossed by Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. Like that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. You can play the 10 in the diamond, but then you've got more midfielders. I get you. Anyway, I've done a long time now, and I was only supposed to do an hour. All right. I hope you enjoy your evening. I'm on with Mo at 8 o'clock, and I'm also on with Don at 11 o'clock. So check out those shows. Please, if you haven't become a subscriber, become a subscriber. I'm on 1,900. I'm really looking to get to 2,000. That's my milestone for the end of the year. So I would love you to become a subscriber. You haven't liked the video, please like the video. And please become a member. It's 99p. Try it out for a month. If you don't like it, then don't resubscribe. But it really helps the channel. I'm looking to get a better camera. I've invested in a microphone with the channel, and I'm also looking to maybe get back to StreamYard, which I can't really afford, to be honest. So the memberships do help. This setup will look better when that happens. And you'll enjoy the shows. I do a conspiracy show on a Sunday, which is great. Everybody loves it. It's behind the paywall, so I can talk about everything. And I also post loads of videos around Anfield because I do Anfield tours and I've had VIP access and stuff like that. So you can check out those videos and support the channel. And if you want to hit a super chat, I'd rather you gifted memberships for other people. That works out better because people get to see the channel more. So if you do want to support the channel, gift memberships. That's what I think is better for the channel. I really love the fact you're all involved. It's an organic community which is growing from 0 to nearly 2,000 now, and I've got like 200 members, which is wonderful. So please, if you want to get involved, hit the likes, hit the subscribe, and become a member. And I will see you all later. I'm going to put a link. I'm going to divert this to the show later with Mo if he set it up. If he hasn't, then I will send you somewhere else. Just bear with me. Who else is live? Is Mo live? No, he's not. Football Terrace is live. Yeah, but that's not Liverpool. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to Quasi Bold. Go and check out Quasi Bold. He's still live. I think he might be finishing soon. But just hit KMAC Raid. Oop. Hit KMAC Raid. And go and see Quasi Bold. Jump in there. Subscribe to his channel as well. I start at the same time as him. You all have a good evening. I will see you all later on Don and Mo's channel. You know those channels, so go and check it out. See you all later, gang. Take care. Bye-bye.